Chapter 20. If you do it right, you won't need to spend money on marketing. Marketing your business is the lifeblood to driving revenue, which is the lifeblood to having a successful business. Let's face it, the definition of whether someone is or isn't in business is if they have revenue. Marketing is very important for generating revenue, and you're smart to be asking this question. I purposely put this discussion towards the back of the book because anyone who's dead set on being an entrepreneur will do anything in their power to market their business to be successful. So, just how do you market your business within the framework of your sponsor's already established brand? There are two primary ways to market your business. One will take financial capital, and the other will take relational capital. Let's talk about the financial capital method first. Marketing method number 1, use financial capital, purchase leads. This method is reserved for people who have the financial capital to wait a little while for a return on their investment in marketing and who have the money to make the marketing investment in the first place. One way to accomplish this is to partner with a company that's already professionally marketing financial services. We call these lead companies because they help you generate leads or potential prospects. There are a lot of different ways to find these companies. If you just Google phrases like life insurance leads or investment client leads, you'll find many vendors that specialize in this area. Outside the financial services arena, a profession in which services like this can lead people to consistently produce a return on investment at the lowest entry costs is mortgage protection. You can actually benefit from purchasing mortgage protection leads and striving to convert those leads into insurance clients. Before I dive into the types of leads you want, keep in mind that as a financial professional, your overall objective is to build, monitor, and revise holistic financial plans for your clients as they plan for their future. Managing assets is just one part of this equation. There are a lot of competition among financial advisors to manage people's investable assets. Firms are willing to pay a lot of money to get in front of clients to provide that service. There is significantly less competition for life insurance clients. In fact, many of the firms that are going after investment dollars seem to toss aside the need for life insurance and other risk mitigation products. Not only are they failing to protect their clients' financial future by doing this, they're also leaving revenue on the table. That's why I like the strategy of entering the door as a life insurance specialist. And then once you establish that relationship, you can upgrade it and move on to some of the other financial services, such as managing your clients' investable assets. This brings me back to my point that the most consistent way to get in front of clients, if you purchase leads, is to buy mortgage protection insurance leads. It might surprise you to know that the companies that sell these leads are still using good old-fashioned direct mail by the tens of thousands to drive lead flow. Their strategy is pretty simple. They go to public databases and get lists of people who've recently acquired a mortgage. Then they send them a simple postcard asking if they'd like a free consultation to help them protect their mortgage in the event of their death. The mailing includes a prepaid return postcard. The recipient can answer a few simple questions about their age, nicotine use, and gender, and then mail the card back to the lead company. You can purchase these leads for around $60 each. Now, the average life insurance sale in my organization yields a little more than $1,000 in commissions, plus several different bonuses for the agent, which can total almost $2,000 in total compensation from the average life insurance sale. So you can see how it wouldn't take too many of these at-bats with a mortgage lead to yield a positive return on investment. Typically, you'll have to buy a batch of these leads, so you'll need to spend $600 to $1,200, and it'll take a few weeks of turnaround time to mail out these cards and get them back. The good part is that all you have to do is write that check or swipe your credit card and then sit back and wait for those leads to come in. It's important that you have enough money in your war chest to cover the living expenses you have as you get this up and running. You want to be able to purchase more of these leads 1 or 2 times before you've recouped your initial return on investment. That will help you maintain some activity during the lag time. This is one of the least expensive and most profitable ways I've found to use financial capital to start marketing your business and accumulating clients. Marketing method number 2, use relational capital. Tap into your existing relationships with people. The second method for marketing your business is to use relational capital. That is, the valuable realm of relationships you develop through your lifetime that you can work with to generate revenue. Now, this method isn't entirely free, but it is free of upfront financial requirements. Some of the most successful sponsored entrepreneurs I have developed are those who have done an amazing job of developing their relational capital with the people they know. Many companies have spent a lot of money trying to figure out how consumers want to meet their financial advisors. Research has shown that many people want to work with advisors they already know and trust. That is, someone they have relational capital with. Many others want someone they already know to refer them to some financial advisor that they know and trust. Given this fact, it makes sense that the larger your circle of influence, the more people you know, the more opportunities you have to build your clientele quickly and effectively with the least financial startup cost. Now, many people shrink away from this concept and resist the idea of bombarding their friends, family members, and neighbors with offers to sell them insurance products. I don't want to be that person, and I'm guessing you probably don't either. If you call everybody you know and ask them to buy insurance, you're probably going to be unsuccessful, and you'll probably damage some relationships as well. But if you're a person of integrity who has done a good job of building a brand, are known as someone who truly cares about others, and have conducted yourself in a professional manner throughout your life and career, then people are naturally going to be curious about the new business you're starting. This is another reason why it's important for you to select a sponsor company that has a professional, education-based process that focuses on educating and informing people versus launching high-pressure sales tactics. This is imperative as you define your value proposition, craft and maintain your brand with your network, and build your clientele. If you follow this advice, you will no longer need to invest your valuable time and money in marketing campaigns. You know more people than you realize. So, who do you talk to? Everybody. Most people don't realize how many people they know. Another common mistake for new advisors is that they try to pre-qualify everyone as someone who may or may not need the products or services they are offering. Over my 15 years of experience in this business and thousands of interactions with prospects and clients, I can tell you that fewer of 1% of people who were honest about where they were in life and their goals had 100% of their financial objectives either accomplished or had a comprehensive plan to accomplish them. This doesn't mean that 99 out of 100 of them will actually do business with you, but it does mean that they at least have the need. So they should go on the list, and you should give them an opportunity to visit with you. You need a systematic and trackable way to go about this. In this package, I have included a spreadsheet that's very useful in tracking who your prospects are, who you talk with and when, and a list of sources you can use to identify prospective clients. List names first. I recommend that you take 2 or 3 days to build a comprehensive list of all the people you can reach out to. The first step is to record their names. Don't worry about getting their phone numbers just yet. We'll do that in a separate step. Using the spreadsheet we've given you, upload every single phone number from your phone's contact list and your spouse's phone's contact list too. Include the name of every person who at some point in time gave you their phone number and said, "Call me." These do not have to be business colleagues. Include other parents of your kid's soccer league, neighbors, people you go to church with, anyone. Take advantage of those invitations. Again, avoid the temptation to prejudge whether or not someone is a prospective client. This is the biggest mistake you can make. I once had an agent who was on such a successful streak of acquiring new clients that he made a list of all the people who he had ever fired at his previous company. He called them and actually picked up another 20 or 30 new clients from that list. If he could be successful marketing to people who he had fired in the past, you can be successful with an ex-significant other, a former employee, or that former coworker who used to steal your lunch out of the refrigerator. Include people you've corresponded with over the past 5 years via your personal and business email accounts, but don't include the junk emails yet. It may take a while to sift through your emails if you get as many as I do, but trust me, this is worth it. You're going to find a whole new list of contacts, and chances are a lot of them are professional contacts. So when you call them about the professional changes in your life, such as the new business you're starting, they're going to be receptive to continuing a business relationship with you. Then look at the electronic or paper calendar and list the names of all the people you've met with for an appointment over the past 5 years. This could be the names of coaches and parents on sports teams your kids played on, play dates, doctor's appointments, you name it. Put it on here. Add all their names to the list. Next, it's time to go to social media. If you're like most people, this is going to provide the biggest lift in names after going through your phone. Start with Facebook. Write down all the names of your connections. Then move to Instagram and list all your followers. Do the same with LinkedIn and other social media accounts. Again, do not pre-qualify or prejudge. Use a loose definition of who you know. If someone would take your phone call and know who you are, that's good enough. Then move on to all the sports teams you've played on, from junior high school, college, city league teams, etc. Then go through your kids' teams and write down the names of their coaches and parents. The goal is to be able to call and say, "Hey, this is so-and-so. You and I were both," state how you know them. "I just started a new business and I wanted to let you know about it." Now write down the names of people in your neighborhood. If you Google your county, you can probably find the website for the tax assessment records. You can go house by house, clicking on each parcel of land, and it will say the name of the owners of each house. Add them to the list. When you call them, you can tell them that you're their neighbor. Next, go through all the clubs you and your family are part of. These could be through a place of worship, volunteer organizations, book clubs, wine clubs, shooting clubs, hunting clubs, or PTA boards at your kid's school. Write down the names of people you've met through those activities. Speaking of school, go through you and your spouse's high school and college yearbooks. Write down the names of all the people you knew, classmates, their parents, teachers, and administrators. The goal is to get at least 1,000 names on this list. That will give you enough names to make your first 100 sales and give you about a year's worth of at-bats to figure out how to get personal introductions from these people. Those 1,000 names will be enough people for you to call for the first year. Then add phone numbers. The next step is to add to your spreadsheet the phone numbers you know. You'll have phone numbers for some of those people, but not all of them. To find the phone numbers you're missing, there are many websites you can access. An inexpensive website I use is binverified.com. For around $20 a month, you can look up anybody and everybody using just their first and last names, a ballpark idea of their ages, and the state they live in. When you think you've found the right person, you can click to order a report and it will give you multiple phone numbers, family members' names, known associates, and past addresses. That information can help make sure you have the right person. Then you can record the 3 or 4 phone numbers at the top of the list, as well as any email addresses and home addresses and mailing addresses that are listed. That way, in the future, you can mail them marketing materials. This will take some time, which is why I suggest carving out a good 2 to 3 days to go through this entire process. This list will provide you with ample contacts to successfully launch your career as a sponsored entrepreneur. Now, these people don't need to be local. They can be anywhere in the United States. To work with them legally, all you have to do is get properly licensed in the states in which they reside. The blueprint for success in this business says that you should expect to make 30 reach-out attempts or phone calls per day, which works out to about 150 per week or 7,500 in your first year. If you never added another name to this list, that would mean you would call each of the people on the list 7 to 8 times. Now, in most cases, it would not take that many attempts to reach someone and book an appointment. Guidelines for successful practice. To build a successful practice, you need to book 10 new fact-finding appointments per week. During those appointments, you will follow your company's recommended process for discovering each prospect's current financial situation and goals for the future. And then you'll work with your sponsor or mentor in the business to put together recommendations that will enable them to reach their goals. One primary benefit of being a sponsored entrepreneur is that you get to learn from the expertise of somebody who's been in this business for a significant amount of time and has credibility, along with the solid reputation of a strong institution that backs the claims and promises you make to clients. Although you are starting out with a list of 1,000 names you've gathered from multiple sources, ultimately, you want to build your clientele from personal introductions. Once you've proven yourself to be a competent, knowledgeable, reliable financial advisor for your clients, they will feel comfortable referring others to you. This is why it's important that the planning process you use with your clients is a value-based approach. This means that along the way, you should be looking for ways to provide value to your prospects and clients. This is going to be the linchpin for your business. When you build your clientele based on referrals from existing clients, you will no longer need to spend money on marketing. The goal is to get referrals and personal introductions from everyone you interact with, even if they don't buy from you. There are several authors who do a phenomenal job of explaining how to obtain personal introductions from prospects and clients. One of the best known experts in this area is Bill Cates, who's known as the referral coach. He is an internationally recognized expert and keynote speaker on attracting more high-level clients through client engagement, referrals, and introductions. The key is to have a process. Again, as a sponsored entrepreneur and a well-established company, this process has already been defined and refined and will be ready for you to follow from your first day forward. Our organization has a turnkey system designed to produce 20-plus referrals or personal introductions on a weekly basis to propel your business forward. When you use the process properly, it makes it extremely easy to meet with referrals. Personal introductions are warm leads. In the financial services profession long ago, people referred to prospects they didn't know as cold leads. In contrast, prospects who come to advisors from someone the advisor already knows were referred to as warm leads. As you can imagine, it's easier to build and establish a rapport and sell to a warm lead than a cold lead. When someone already understands and respects what you do and how you do it because someone they know has spoken highly of you, you already have a connection and a point of commonality. That's the goal with getting personal introductions. You can spend less time looking for new clients and more time working for your clients. In fact, as a freebie, let me give you a quick piece of language you can use to get referrals right off the bat. Mr. and Mrs. Client, I'd like to explain to you a little bit more how our business works. You see, most advisors spend 80% of their time looking for new prospective clients and only about 20% of their time actually working for their clients. I think this is backwards. I got in this business to help my clients. I prefer to spend no more than 20% of my time looking for new clients, so I can spend about 80% of my time working for you and my other clients. The only way I can do this is by running a referral-based practice. With that in mind, who do you know that I should be visiting with who could benefit from the process you and I have just gone through for planning for your financial future? This brief script is the only tool you need to run a referral-based practice. In fact, if you use this language with every client, there may be no need for you to read other books or do any further study on this topic. Using our referral or personal introduction process as your marketing strategy is the way to ensure that your practice is scalable. Why? Because the time you invest in prospecting is minimal and you do not need to invest any money in it. Compare that to a multifaceted, multi-channel marketing campaign. Plus, the targeting is precise. Once you've begun building a clientele that's composed of the types of people you enjoy working with, getting referrals from them will help you attract more ideal clients. This will allow you to get in front of more of the right people at the right time for the right price. I cannot stress enough how important it is that the company you choose to be your sponsor has a proven, replicable process for how to coach and develop you to get referrals on a regular basis. Many companies will say that they do this and that it's part of their plan, but very few I know of actually have a system for it. Our company has a highly effective turnkey process to help you be successful in marketing your new enterprise.